it's that time again where you ask me 3 questions, I give you 3 answers. Seems like a fair trade. And since we're in the holiday season, I've taken the liberty of making things look a bit more festive. And my apologies for there being a lack of Q&A episodes, but if I haven't got any questions to be asked, I can't make these episodes. Apologies in full for any inconvenience caused. And enough of that now, we're on to the first question, and it's from the Firebird. How would you react if there was a Knight Rider and Thunderbirds crossover, albeit animated? Also, would you want it to be G1, KR, or SG? If they ever did a Thunderbirds and Knight Rider crossover, that would make my Christmas complete 3 to 4 times over. It's just the idea of Kit possibly interacting with Brains, Virgil, maybe even putting Kit in a pod. As to which Kit, if I had to choose, it would probably be G1 Kit. But that said, I'm not above seeing how the Kit Stang would interact, purely just to see the reaction. So yeah, I would be having a fanboy moment, as you just noticed. Oh, this is a question from Nerd Stuff and Thangs. Question 2. If you could book a WWE storyline of a CM Punk return, how would you do it? Ooh, that is a very good question. I guess I would do something similar to what Chris Jericho did when they were hyping up his return for excuse me, when they were hyping up his return for January 2012 with these really cryptic messages. But what I would have done is just like have these not major accidents, but it's just little things, you know, Pyro goes missing, or people that, you know, royally screwed Punk over before he left. Certain things of theirs start to go not the way that they wanted it, and then, you know, start dropping little hints like brass rings or Z-Packs, and you know, little things like Triple H's, you know, taking Punk's ideas and giving them to someone else to work with. Just these little things, and then at the end of it, have like a little message saying, you know, when it gets to the Royal Rumble, I will shock you all and take my rightful place and take back what was mine. And here's how I would do it. He comes in as a full body, you know, basically in terms of costume, be like Spider-Man, where the whole body's covered over. He's maybe got a couple of bits and pieces just so he can breathe through. They have no idea who this guy is that's just won the Royal Rumble. And then the very next night on Raw, he takes his mask off, and then Cult of Personality plays, where people are like, I'm back! So that's how I would do it. You know, really go for something that they weren't expecting. Now here's a question from Anthony Smith. If you had creative control of Thunderbirds, that would be a dangerous thing. What would be the best way to end the season or to end the Mechanics' reign of terror? That's a second very, very intriguing question for this week. How would we end season 2 and possibly end the Mechanics' reign of terror? I would be thinking along the lines of it would require brains, and Virgil specifically, because Virgil can be very technical when he wants to be. It would mean putting on upgrades to the ships and actually decoding a lot of the mechanics, technology, and means of how he's been able to get 2 steps ahead of international rescue. He's compromised, captured, and now a lot of people suspect that the mechanic is KO's father, brainwashed. At this moment, that's the only presumption that we have to go on, and there's some people on the net who think the mechanic is really Jeff Tracy. I don't think so. I don't know what look they're going for with Jeff in this version, but I'm pretty sure Jeff is not that jacked up. I know Jeff is depicted as being athletically toned, from what I remember from the Fleetway comic from the early 90s in the Thunderbirds prequel series, where you see because he's a former astronaut, he has to be in reasonably good shape, but not to the point where he looks like he could go one-on-one with Hulk Hogan, the Ultimate Warrior, or even The Rock. Although Thunderbirds in WWE, that'd be intriguing. I think it would come down to a situation where the mechanic is accosted by the Tracys and KO. He's revealed, his identity is revealed, and then they drop a major bombshell where he says, "I know what happened to Jeff Tracy, and I can also tell you where he is alive." That's how I would end season 2, to the point where the boys think, "Dad's alive?" Because as we know, Rob Hogie who's the head writer for Thunderbirds or Go, has stated that Jeff Tracy will not be in the first 2 seasons because of the fact that in order for the boys to shine, you have to take Jeff out of the picture, because he's not a character that you can bench or put to the sidelines. He is a force within the Thunderbirds universe, and as such, the decision was taken to take him out of the story so that the boys could have a chance to shine on their own. So that is what I would do to end season 2, to have the mechanic accosted and then have secrets revealed of not only what happened to Jeff, but where he is and the condition he's in. Because now there are some people that don't want Jeff to be found because they say it defeats the purpose of the boys standing on their own, and I get that to some degree, but this is Jeff Tracy. He is pretty much with synonymous and, part of Thunderbirds just as much as Parker is and the Rockets are, I don't know what more I can say. He's the patriarch of the Tracy family, and he's just one of those characters you couldn't picture being gone permanently, or for lack of a better description. But yeah, that is how I would end season 2. Those have been your 3 questions this week. You know how this shtick works by now. Leave a question in the comment section below if this is dynamicnight.com, YouTube, VidMe, RiverCityGamers.com, or even on Facebook and Twitter with the hashtag AskTheKnight. But until again, folks, ask again.